Hi, I'm attorney Ron Ruskin. In this video, I want to cover what happens in a final hearing for dissolution of marriage or uncontested divorce. The procedure, of course, can vary and depend upon the individual magistrate or judge. First, some things to remember. Always dress appropriately. You can dress casual, but don't wear shorts or a tank top. Show respect to the court. Speak up when you answer any questions. Most importantly, know what is in your papers. Do not show hesitation or doubt about what is in your papers, or that you want to be divorced or to have your marriage dissolved. If you or your spouse seem to be unsure about whether the divorce or dissolution should be granted, or if you're unsure about the terms of your divorce, or whether everything is fair, the judge will usually stop the hearing and say that you should talk to a member of the court staff or a lawyer before the case can go any further. Who is required at the final hearing? In a dissolution of marriage, both husband and wife must attend the final hearing. If one doesn't show up, the case will either be continued to another date or the case will be dismissed. In an uncontested divorce, only the plaintiff has to attend the final hearing, and the basis of the divorce is usually incompatibility or a one-year period of separation. A witness is required in an uncontested divorce to vouch for and confirm the basis for the divorce. The witness can be any adult, be it a friend or family member, who knows that the parties are incompatible or who knows that they have been living separate and apart for more than 1 year. There are some red flags which could stop your divorce from being approved. Let's go over some things that usually stick out. Real estate. If the real estate was acquired during the marriage and if it has any significant equity and is not being fairly split, this is a red flag to the judge. Equity is the difference between what the property is worth and what is owed on the mortgage. If the real estate was acquired before the marriage, then it is considered to be the separate property of the spouse who brought it into the marriage. If the real estate has little or negative equity, there's no issue. Sometimes the value of the real estate is offset by another asset, such as when the wife is keeping the house and the husband is keeping his retirement account, and the two are roughly equal in value. Retirement accounts. Retirement accounts are a marital asset if they were accumulated during the marriage. If one spouse has a large retirement account that is not being split, that is a red flag. If a retirement account was accumulated before the marriage, it is the separate property of that spouse. If a retirement account is of little value, or if the value is offset by another asset that the other spouse is keeping, there is no problem. Often each party is keeping their own retirement account and waiving any interest in the retirement account of the other. Difference of income. If it is a long-term marriage and there is a considerable difference in the incomes or the potential incomes of the husband and the wife, and there is no spousal support, this is a red flag. Spousal support is what used to be called alimony. If there is little difference in the incomes or potential earning ability of husband and wife, if it is a short-term marriage, or if the spouse who would get the spousal support is now living with another man or woman, then spousal support is not an issue. If the possible spousal support is offset by another asset or by debts which are being assumed, then it is not an issue. So how is the final hearing conducted? The judge will usually start off by asking some introductory questions such as, what is your name and address? Have you been a resident of the county for more than 90 days and a resident of Ohio for more than 6 months prior to the filing of the case? What is the name of your spouse and the date and place of your marriage? Are there any minor children of the marriage? And if so, what are their names and dates of birth? Is the wife pregnant with child now? The terms of the divorce. The judge will want to make sure that each party knows what assets and debts there are and that they are being fairly divided. And will ask, have you made a complete disclosure of all your assets and liabilities to your spouse? And has your spouse made a complete disclosure of all their assets and liabilities to you? Do you feel that you understand all the terms of the separation agreement? Is it fair to you? Is it fair to your spouse? The judge may ask you to explain what is in your separation agreement. Know the main issues which are in your agreement. If there is no separation agreement, the judge will ask if all the provisions of the divorce decree are fair and if they are understood. If you have minor children of the marriage, a judge will ask, do you understand the parenting plan for your children? Now this is custody to one party or a shared parenting plan. Is the parenting plan in the best interest of your children? The judge may ask you to explain what is in your parenting plan. Finally, the judge will want to be sure that you want to be divorced and will ask, are you unable to resolve your differences? Is there any hope of reconciliation? Do you want to be divorced today? Or do you want to have your marriage dissolved today? According to the terms in your separation agreement? Most final hearings only last 5 to 10 minutes. They're not as bad as you think before the hearing. Just do a little preparation before the hearing, and you should be okay. If you'd like more information about divorce in Ohio, or would like my help in preparing your papers, visit my website, dissolutionohio.com.